In this video, we are going to be talking about Mother Mary. I had the privilege of connecting with her, and she is definitely not who I always thought she was. Of course, I have been known to be very wrong in my human self, especially before my awakening, so I just want to share that experience with you guys today. My name is Catherine. I'm an energy healer, spiritual coach, and nurse practitioner. If you need personalized coaching or an energy healing from yours truly, then you can go to my website at catherineglassman.com, or you can email me at hello@catherineglassman.com. So I will have to admit that before my awakening, first of all, I barely believed in God or religion in general. And so, the Holy Family, I was like very skeptical on whether or not they actually existed. And if they did, then Mary seemed more like a secondary character to me in my human brain at the time. Okay. I know. And so I'm just admitting that as my human self, because I am here to tell you that I was very, very wrong. And so how it all started was back in 2019. This was shortly after my awakening process started, and I was getting a reading from a friend who is a professional psychic medium. And she said that Mother Mary was around me a lot, which I found to be odd because I just never really thought of her like that. I never thought to connect with her. I don't know. She just wasn't someone that I thought I would be close to, I guess. And this is because I'm still going through this process of like dismantling everything that I was ever taught and things that I was taught to believe, the dogma, like I'm just dismantling all of that at this time, okay? And so I was just a little caught off guard when she said that. So then fast forward by maybe like a couple of weeks, I was doing a shamanic journey, and it was like a drumming journey, which I absolutely love. They are very helpful. And in this journey, I saw myself walking through this home that was broken down and abandoned and very dirty. But every room I went into, there was a statue of Mother Mary. And then when I finished up with the meditation, I come out of this house, right? And I look back at the house, and part of the house like became refurbished and brand new, but only in a section of the house. And so when I came out of it and thought about it, what I realized was that the house was me, and that I was going through different parts of myself, of my mind, of my emotions, my spiritual self. And when I come out of there, there's a part of me that heals. But for whatever reason, there was a statue of Mother Mary in every single one of the rooms, right? And so, okay, now I'm kind of like, okay, well, maybe there's something there. Maybe I should try to connect with her. So then I proceed to try to connect with her. Now, I have a rosary that was given to me by my sister, and at the time, I just had it, right? I never did anything with it. I knew that you could say, the prayers and things like that, but I just didn't because I wasn't religious by any means. And so, but I just had it because it was a gift. So I took that rosary and I learned the prayers and I just started saying them, right? And I do this for maybe a couple of days and nothing happens. Okay. And of course, I'm, disappointed, but I'm also still very rational and logical at this time. And I was like, okay, I don't even know if Mary's real. So I'm just going to kind of go through these motions and see what happens. And at least if she is real, then she'll know that I'm trying to reach out to her. Okay. So maybe a few weeks later, I am sleeping, and my bedroom at the time was kind of set up like this. And instead of the picture of the dogs, there was a glass picture frame. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked at this frame and I saw the silhouette of a woman with like a long flowing headdress. And as soon as I saw it, I immediately thought of Mary. Okay. And I was like, this is weird. Okay. So this is what I intuitively felt. I didn't feel a presence like energetically or anything, but I just saw that image and then Mary popped into my head. And then my rational mind kicked in and was like, okay, you're just seeing shadows. You're just seeing something that you want to see. Okay. And so that was that. Maybe a couple of days later, I was meditating and I was meditating in front of that same picture. And it was just because it was a convenient place for me to meditate and it ended up facing like north. So it just worked out. Okay. So I'm just sitting there meditating and out of nowhere, I get hit with this crazy amount of energy. And it was very similar to the same energy that I get when I channel Jesus and when I channel angels. Okay. It's this, it's like this energy that is so powerful. It just breaks through all of your humanness and goes straight into your heart and like fills your heart with so much love and so much peace and safety. And then while this is happening, simultaneously, I get this image. It's going to make me cry. I get this image of Mary walking up to me and she's standing there and she's got like her flowing, drapes on her. And she takes off her scarf on her head and she throws it over my shoulders and wraps it as if she is my mother, like bundling me up. Oh. And so that was the moment that I knew that Mother Mary was real. And she definitely was not like a secondary character in anyone's story at all, but just this powerful motherly force. And I kind of was talking to her about a certain situation that I had at the time. And of course, when I say talk, I don't mean like I have like a formal conversation with them. It's more like thoughts pop into my head and they are immediately answered. And then, but it's not even that it happens in that linear way. It almost happens simultaneously because it's so fast. But I was dealing with a situation at the time and she was basically talking to me about how there is so much strength in vulnerability. And she basically compared it to her as a mother. So she is very much a protector of moms, of children, and of anybody who feels like they need like a mom's love. Okay. She has this very graceful energy to her, but it's also with this mama bear kind of energy. Like it's really hard to explain because when you think of like a nurturing mom, you think of a mom that's like coddling her child and things like that. And she does have that energy, but she also has this energy of just pure strength. And it's this graceful strength. It's really hard to explain. Like it's a strength that doesn't have to like take action or take the first step. It is rather a strength that is a shield, kind of. And it's really wild. And at that time, she really wanted to give me this message about moms because around that time, I was also like getting weird downloads about mom energy. I think I was having some thing come up with my own mother. And she really wanted to give me this message of having more compassion and giving more love to the mothers that exist in the world. And she said that there is a lot of strength that is needed in order to be a mom. And she basically showed me this image of, okay, okay, my human self was kind of comparing her to Jesus, right? Like, and please forgive me. Don't judge me too harshly, okay? I was still very human and I still am, but I was having like these human thoughts of like comparing them to each other, right? And like, why was Mary that special? Okay. And I know it sounds so terrible. So Jesus, like as the main character, okay, he died for something that he believed in, right? He had a calling and he followed that calling all the way into the end. And she said that when you believe in something so wholeheartedly, sometimes you are willing to die for it if you really believe in it. And when you find yourself in that space, that decision actually becomes fairly easy. When you believe in something so strongly, it becomes easy to die for it. Now, the act of doing that is different, but the belief and the decision to do that, it just becomes final. It's almost as if it's not even your decision because it's just fated. Okay. She said that does take a lot of strength. Okay. And self-sacrificing. And, there is no taking anything away from that. However, there is a different kind of strength that has to come in when you have to watch your child do that. There is a different strength when you don't feel that necessarily. You kind of know it on like a logical level. You know what they want to do, or so it could be like any loved one, right? Like you know what they believe in and you know what they feel like they need to do. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you feel that. And that certainly doesn't necessarily mean that you want that for them. And she said, it takes a very strong person to watch someone that you love more than anything in this world to die for something that they believe in. And so her energy really represents this graceful strength. And it's not necessarily that she was not upset when all of this happened. It wasn't that she wasn't crying, because she was. But she knew in her heart that this was something that had to happen and that she had to, in a sense, let him go to do that. Oh. And so, of course, I brought that into my own life, right? And thinking about all of the people that I've cared about and that I've loved, who I've watched go down a very bad road, and know that there was nothing that I could do because that was their own journey and this was something that they had to do. And as much as you want to stop it, as much as you want to change their mind, you can't. And it takes a lot of strength to continue to just give them support and give them love as they go through their own journey. And so after that meeting with her, I mean, geez, one could argue that, maybe she was, in a sense, stronger than Jesus, right? And I know I need to get away from comparing the two. It's just my human brain, does it as like a point of reference to kind of understand both energies. but wow. I mean, and and even today, when I channeled her today, her energy is just so different than Jesus's energy. It's just like this, it's this unwavering strength. Like I don't know how to how to explain it. When her energy came in today, it it felt like your a mom's hug when you are losing hope. That's what it felt like. And I wasn't even in a place of feeling like sad or anything, but that's just how it felt to have her near me. It's as if I was scared or just unsure and just nervous. And she just comes in and just wraps her energy around me and around my heart. And just instantly everything gets better. And I instantly feel safe and cared for and loved. She's definitely the epitome of this energy that there, my child, everything is going to be okay. And like I've I've heard some parents say, right? Like if their child is hurting or they're crying, they'll say something like, I wish I could just take that pain away from you and take it as my own. That's the kind of energy that she gives. It's like she's so full of strength that she carries strength for both of you, like on behalf of you, so that you can be vulnerable and just surrender. And she will just wrap you in her embrace and just keep you safe in her amazing, strong container. And so I asked her, what is it that we need to know today? And she said that the best thing that we can do right now is to accept disappointments with grace. Currently, right now, many people are going through a lot. The world is going through a lot. There's just a lot of chaos. And looking at it from, a first person perspective within your own life, it can feel like there is just a lot falling apart and that it's easy to not only be disappointed, but to start to get upset and frustrated and maybe even angry. But she is really encouraging us to accept these disappointments with grace because this is all going to lead to the fulfillment of a prophecy. Because it is not easy to see things fall apart right in front of you. And she just took me back to that same image of her watching her only son walk up to his death. And gosh, like she has so much strength. And it's just even weird to compare like our human problems to like what she went through. And, obviously she doesn't care, but like it's just weird to even do that because I think about my own problems and, she's like, look at me, look what I've gone through. And then here I am just with my like human issues. And it's just, but she's so sweet and so loving and, you know, she wants me to like channel her strength. It's just funny. But yeah, it is difficult to, or sometimes impossible, to see the bigger picture at the time. She said, but there is a bigger picture coming that you have to have faith in. And as long as you hold on to that faith, it will allow you to gracefully walk through existence right now with everything just falling apart in front of you. And it will help you maintain a sense of neutrality and be a little bit more graceful and objective, more graceful rather than objective, because sometimes things just don't make sense anyway. And so it's difficult to be objective a lot of the times, but regardless. And she said that she will help provide any strength to anybody who asks for it from her. Any help and prayers do not go unanswered with her. But she says to call on her specifically if you find yourself in a situation where you really just need graceful strength. Sometimes there are situations that require like a brute force, actionable masculine energy. And if that's the case, then calling on that kind of energy is more appropriate. But then there are times where you have to observe the situation and allow it to happen and to gracefully accept it. And when you find yourself in that situation, that is when you should call upon her. She then got a little bit more specific, and she said that if you are specifically a mother who is struggling to be a mom and just someone who feels alone, feels like you're kind of going crazy because of all of the hormones and just being pulled in every direction. If you are a mom who feels like she's losing her identity in being a mom or being a wife or being some sort of role that doesn't really fulfill her sense of self, she says that she is especially protective of those mothers. And it's funny because when she was saying this, she brought me back to my original assumption of her being the secondary character in Jesus's story. And it was just funny the way she did that because it just came full circle. And I was like, damn, that is a good lesson for me to learn. And it's just so true because moms are so selfless that they really do just become like the background, and they just end up pouring everything into their kids or just into the family unit in general. And so she seems to be really drawn to mothers when they need more support. It's just so funny. So funny to get like a lesson from a mom like that. Well done. But she also said that she does not want to forget about the men because there are a lot of men who do not have a motherly, nurturing space to go to. And she wants the men to know that they can call upon her when they need that motherly, nurturing hug in any moment. Because men have to be strong all the time. All the time. They never get to show any weakness. They never get to show any vulnerability. And so if you are a man and you find yourself just overwhelmed, overworked, and you're just full of anxiety and you feel like you're going to explode or you're going to break down or, go into a depression, or you feel like you're just about to break, she said to call upon her and she will hold you in a safe space so that you can just allow yourself to just be open and vulnerable and to just feel loved and protected. And then she gives me this image of like a young Jesus running up to her and like holding her, and she just has her hands like wrapped around him. Because obviously men need, protection too. And sometimes they need that motherly, nurturing protection. Wow. Whew. So if you need some mom energy, definitely connect with Mary. She is just a powerhouse. And it's funny because I actually I ended up buying like a blue scarf in honor of her. It's not the baby blue that I wanted, but it's okay. It's still blue anyway. This is my Mary scarf. It's funny. So anyway, oh gosh, so emotional. Well, I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.